Hey guys, it's me, Jay Stone, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about structure and organization. Structure and organization. So, no secret, been in business 18 years. 18 years this year. In October will be 18. And there are a lot of things that I think that I wish that I had done earlier in my business to make it a lot easier for me to grow, to scale, to monetize, to make money. Okay. And so, as a creative, right? And when I say creative, I'm talking to people who are the coaches, consultants, and experts in the industries where you might work in marketing, you might work in graphic design, you might be a person that creates products. If you are a creative in any way, a lot of creatives have trouble with creating structure. Okay, and there's a lot of chaos because what we want is we are what we call web thinkers, where analytical people are more linear thinkers, like they think in a straight line. But as creatives, kind of like we're idea people, right? Your idea pops up over here, and it's an idea that pops up over there. And for us, that structure kind of makes us feel constricted, and it makes us feel bound. And so a lot of times when it comes to, technology, business operations, organization, we kind of, the time that it takes for us to sit down and create the structure and the processes and stuff. For me, I didn't do it early in my business. I didn't do it for probably the first, I'm going to say 15 years. I didn't do it because it was so much stress for me. It was time consuming. It took a lot of focus. It made me feel heavy and weighted down, like I couldn't move, right? And so I wouldn't do it. And what I kept telling people when they just tell me, hey, you need to create more structure. You need to create more, balance. What's your processes? What's your steps, right? And because I kept saying my thing was, I don't have time. I ain't got time for that bullshit, right? I'm over here creating more shit that in my mind is going to make me money. But then I found myself frustrated when I started to grow my team, right? And I would tell them verbally, hey, do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then they would do 1 and 5. And I'd be like, what happened to 2 and 3? And it was like I didn't have it written down or documented anywhere exactly what to do. Okay? So here's the thing. If you are the creative, if micropreneurs, right? It's one or two of you guys, right? It's one or two of you guys. And everybody knows something in their head how to do it. But if you don't document that, how do you grow? How do you scale your business? The truth of the matter is you cannot. And the truth of the matter is you're going to stay stuck in your chaos, and it's going to limit your ability to grow. And what happens is you keep hiring people and they keep doing a shit job because they can't follow your verbal instructions and because you don't have it documented, right? So the documentation did several things, right? Me documenting processes and procedures, me creating structure, okay? Those things were, it kept me from being able to hold people accountable that I would hire, okay? So I needed to be able to hold them accountable for the steps and the processes. Okay. So here's the thing. Personally, I had a process for doing everything. But again, it was not documented. Okay. So over the past 2 years, I had to create processes because here's where it started to really hold me back. Excuse me. When I started having big groups of people sign up for me at one time. And they had to have a step-by-step process for, okay, what to expect. What's the first thing that they do when they sign up for a program? Do they get a letter, right? A welcome letter? And what's the next thing? Is there a survey to fill out? I had to come up with those steps because when people are paying you money, right, they need to have a clear understanding of where you're going or where they're going, particularly when you start trying to elevate your price point. Okay? So now let's go back to, it's not only important for internal people, it's important for external, but let's go back to the internal, right? I want to go back to the internal because I told you guys I had a major surgery and I was out for 3 months, right? It'll be 3 months next week. that I've been out. I'm just going back to work. Things kept moving because the team had instruction. They had instructions on what to do. They knew where to find documents for everything. So instead of me answering questions like, how do I do this? I might have been answering questions like, what folder is this in? Okay. Because maybe they didn't find it where they thought it should be. So the questions became less and less taxing on me, and I was able to just heal. So here's the question you ask yourself, right? For those of you who struggle to put structure in place. The questions that you have to ask yourself are, if I got hit by a donkey tomorrow, how would they find this information? If it's on your computer instead of on a cloud-based folder system, if it's on your computer, you got hit by a donkey, they can't find it, right? So I use Box.com. Okay, and I know a lot of people like Dropbox. Box is much easier to integrate. It's a little, it's relatively inexpensive, and everybody can have access to it. Okay, so if all your graphics are on your computer, how is somebody else going to get to them? If you're the only person that knows how to book a client, if you got hit by a donkey, how would somebody else book the client? You have to start thinking in terms of, it's not just you. You're not just a small business person, right? It is other people. So if you got hit by a donkey, ask yourself that question today. If you got hit by a donkey, how would someone else do the things in your business? Ask yourself that question about every task, right? Roberto says a donkey. That's the first time I've ever heard that as an example. Yeah, because I used to say shit like, what if you die tomorrow, right? It's so fucking morbid, right? So I heard somebody once say, get hit by a donkey. And I've been using that ever since. So if you ask yourself, if I got hit by a donkey tomorrow, could someone pick this up? So if you're sending out a letter to your clients, if I got hit by a donkey, could my staff send out an email to clients, right? Is there a template where they know they can copy this email and send this information? So creating that kind of structure is the most important piece. If you don't take the time to do it now, you pay for it later. I did. It took me years to detangle all these steps and all these processes and get them documented so that other people can start to use it. But once I got it in place, it was a game changer for my growth. It was a game changer for my income. Okay? So just a little bit about taming the chaos in your life. And we will catch you guys on the flip side.